It is often said that water is the elixir of life, but for some it can also bring the end. The power of nature's greatest liquid is to be respected, to be sure. And in Guillermo del Toro's 2001 film, The Devil's Backbone, one unlucky boy named Santi showed filmgoers just how frightening the elixir of life can be. Going to start with Mehron Edge in white. Sketch out the collar and vest. Put some vertical lines so I could keep track of how many rows. Then create the diagonal pattern for the diamonds. Taking Buggles Pro Classic Color No. 2 palette, use the gray to fill in some of the diamonds and the vest edges. Then back to the palette and using the ochre color for the next row. Final color is Buggles Rust Red. Now to just clean up all three colors. Not going to worry about getting too precise since I'm going to age and grunge everything up. With Mehron Paradise paint in white, paint my arms for the sleeves and the collar. Using Mehron Star Blended Black, create the shading on the vest and collar. Also starting to shade for the hole in the vest. Create some folds in the sleeves and move to a larger brush to create larger soft shadows, putting some of the shadows in random places to dirty it up. With Mehron Edge in black, outline the neckline and armholes. Also creating some textures. Define the sleeve shadow folds and deepen the hole. Softly build some areas to age the clothing. Took Mehron Paradise paint in olive and spattered all over. Following that with some black Mehron. Go back with the black Mehron Star Blend and build up some shadows and textures. Beginning with a smaller brush, then grabbing a larger one. Using the black Mehron, block out the tops of my shoulders. And use some in the darkest area of the clothing. Taking the Buggles Pro ochre color, paint some loose threads around the hole. Then use the Buggles gray for brighter ones. And use this for a soft highlight, painting them very blotchy. Then go around on all the gray diamonds and create the illusion of a sort of weave texture. Get some even brighter highlights with the Mehron Edge in white. Add some on the high points of the sleeve folds and jump around and build up brighter areas. Finally, gently clean up the neck where some of the spatter got before moving on to the face. Glue my eyebrows down with a glue stick, then with an aqua sponge, apply a base of white Mehron Paradise paint. Use the Mehron olive color to lightly spatter over the white. Took the black Mehron Star Blend and added shadows to the clothing over the skin. This will give it a more realistic look. Grab the black Mehron Edge and really deepen the shadow of the collar. And a few more highlights with the white Mehron Edge. Back up to the face with a fluffy brush and the Mehron Black Star Blend. Shading it in the typical contour areas and heavily around the eyes. Use a smaller brush to create a more sunken shape and soften it out. For the cracks, took black Mehron Edge and painted the cracks similar to my reference. Now to give them more dimension, add some soft shading with the black Star Blend. Using a larger brush for larger areas and basically giving the shards more of a 3D look. Deepen some of the contour areas and even use it to add some softer cracks extending out. Put in a few highlights with the white Mehron Edge, also softening the cracks around the eyes. To further some highlights, use NYX Professional Makeup Avant Pop Palette and Surreal My Heart using the Shimmering White. Apply it on the top of the cheeks, brow bone, and chin. With the Collective Cosmetics Mandela Effect Palette, use Screaming and blend it out around the eyes. Back with the Black Star Blend and really deepen all the shadow areas. And don't forget those ears. Added a few softer shadows to look a little more sickly. Took the Skin Illustrator Necromania palette and used On Ice for the lips, coloring them very softly, and then with an orange stipple sponge, add this color to a few areas for some more texture. For the waterline, use NYX Professional Makeup Waterproof Lip Liner in Bedrose, blending it into the Collective Cosmetics Screaming color from earlier. Back to the Collective Cosmetics Mandela Effect palette, apply the Tune shade Wet down the cheeks. Then softly blend it out once it dries. With the NYX Shimmer White shade again, soften the one side quite a bit and a few areas on the more prominent streak. Now for the bone effect, took Skin Illustrator Glo-Worm. Since it's translucent, I did have to paint it while under a black light. After it's all sketched out, went in with Skin Illustrator Glo-Worm Airbrush Liquid. Unfortunately, with the black lights that I used to film this, you couldn't really see the full effect. If you are interested in seeing a better version of this same process, I'd recommend checking out my Muscle UV Bones video. Once that's all done and looking spooky, put the contacts in and put on a wig. Painted a piece of thin plastic for the blood flowing out of the head wound. Applied it with two-way tape, then used a touch of the black Mehron edge to blend it into the makeup. And you're all finished. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you enjoyed watching this process, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you on the next one.